I think the biggest misconception is for a wet and dry bar is you need a lot of space. You don't. We've done some that are only 3 foot wide. It all depends on what you really want to do in that space. We can customize it to fit your needs, but in customizing it doesn't mean it's going to be expensive. It just means that we're going to try to use more standardized pieces to help fit into your space. The big difference between a wet and a dry bar is a wet bar is going to usually have some sort of plumbing source to it or water source to it, where a dry bar will not have a water source. A lot of times people do a dry bar because they can use it as a second serving area as a buffet if it's off the kitchen, or if they're using it for a wine bar so they can set things out on it, like cheeses and things like that, so they can do some sampling and things like that. A wet bar is more used for, I would say, a lot of times in a basement. We'll do more wet bars than we do dry bars in basements because they don't actually have a water source down there anywhere close. Upstairs, I would say we would probably do more dry bars than wet bars. The features are pretty common in both either a dry bar or a wet bar. It's a lot of times we'll do some type of display cabinet, whether it be a glass cabinet with lights in it, or a wine rack for wine storage, or shelves for decorations. A lot of times in wet bars, we'll do stuff that's gonna highlight your spirit collection. So that's why we do the glass cabinets. And I think a lot of times in dry bars, we do glass cabinets that are going to highlight, personal knickknacks, things like that people like. One of the other features we do a lot of when we do a wet bar or dry bar is the addition of this drawer microwave unit. The drawer microwave unit works out very, very handily because it keeps it off the counter. I mean, that's why we're going to do an under-counter microwave anyways in situations like this so you don't see the appliance. Again, and then another thing we will do is bar refrigerator or a mini fridge, which are different than, like, say, your dorm refrigerators and things like that, because they're usually a little bit bigger. They're meant to be in a bar and then broke down. In this particular one, we use a Sub-Zero refrigerator drawer. So the top's gonna be a refrigerator drawer, the bottom's gonna be a freezer with an ice maker. There are different types of wine storage. Popular wine storage right now is the Crisscross X, like that, more of a cubby. And then we have just a normal shelf like this, which will have like cutouts for wine to sit there. But most of the time we're doing either a wine refrigerator, which is meant to hold your wine bottles or to keep them at room temperature. Some wines like to be room temperature, some like to be cold. Well, yeah, I think if they wanted to talk about wet or dry bar, we can kind of walk you through the steps, what needs to be done, and see if a wet bar will work in your location or a dry bar. We've been doing this long enough here, all of us have. We can kind of pretty much tell if we're able to get plumbing to a certain place, if we're able to move certain parts of the wall to make things work.